All right, what is going on, everybody? This is a free webinar here that we decided to do leading up to our new class session for October. As you guys may know, I run a pretty in-depth course about how to trade options, about how to time options, all the different things that you need to include in your sort of decision-making process when it comes to buying and selling options, no matter your time frames or your strategies. We also talk about writing options. I write aggressively. I write a lot of spreads and things like that. So we kind of bring it all together for you, in this sort of options masterclass. You get access to all this stuff right here through your subscription to the Steamroom. So you can see all your videos here for the master course, as well as a Wise Guys Revealed course, which I'll talk about in a second here. So basically, here's all your tape reading sessions. Tape reading is one of the big focus of the course. Basically, how to look at a level 2, for example, how to look at this, what is bid and ask, how to look at these transactions and understand, when you sort of get a big move coming, whether swing trade, day trade, whatever the hell it is that you are looking for. But today, what we want to do is kind of show you guys how some of the flow and some of the access to the technology inside the Steamroom could give you some tips on where money is moving to. So one of the big movers that we've seen lately, how many of you guys have been playing oil names? Anybody been playing oil lately? There is one trade I'm going to break down for you guys towards the end of the class, so make sure you do stick around. How many of you guys have been trading oil? Anybody? Anybody oil, natural gas, the oil complex in general? Anybody on that? There was a big move, there's sort of a big rotation to this particular sector, as well as what other sector? What other sector has been very hot as of late? I pulled out a good 30, 40 grand just trading Goldman Sachs past couple of days, and then most of the banks. And, this is a nice rotation here that is happening as we speak. And that's kind of how the market works. The market works in these sort of sector rotations. Okay, so what do I mean? So I mean when, the market is in sort of a trend, and clearly, we're in sort of an uptrend here. We consolidate a little bit and then make these new highs. We consolidate a little bit and then make these new highs. When we make these new highs, though, it doesn't mean you can just throw a dart and find a name that you can buy, although often, on certain times in these rallies, when they start out or whatever it is, you can pretty much buy anything. But when we're in this sort of deep in this cycle, in this sort of bullish cycle, we get what's called rotation. And it's important to understand where that money is flowing to, if you're going to rotate to the right names. Okay, so obviously one of those sectors was the financials. We were buying Goldman Sachs at around 230, 220, 228, so to speak. And then caught this nice move higher. Another sector here that really saw some aggressive buying is oil, and we're going to show you how some of the flow, would have clued you into a large move in oil and which names to sort of buy. So let's run through a couple of these names here. This is the Steamroom. This is what you're going to get access to as a member with us. And as a member inside the Steamroom, you're going to get access to a lot of sharp options order flow. Now, what do I mean when I say sharp? I mean interesting. I mean aggressive, okay? And the way that they're procuring these particular contracts is very aggressively. And what do I mean by aggressive? I mean they're buying on the offer, okay? They're paying on the offer. And if you guys don't know what that means, well, damn it, that's a large part of tape and a large part of understanding aggressive order flow versus order flow that's kind of and it's not really going to go anywhere. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of names here that really caught some interesting activity, and then let's dissect how you could have played these things. Okay, let's take a look at the COP. Okay, so COP is a oil and gas name, and if you take a look at the flow here for the past couple of weeks, you notice we started around the 18th or so. Okay. Buying some of the end of this month weeklies, sorry, end of September weeklies. And then you see them buying a couple of weeks into October. So you have this week's expiration as well as you have next week's expiration. And if you notice, they started buying, and here's your reference price. This is where the stock was trading when the actual, when the orders got filled here. So this thing was trading 47, 48. They're still buying it all the way up to 49. And look at the strike prices that they're paying, right? They're paying for $50 calls, $51 calls. They're paying for $52 calls up here, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's take a look at COP, and let's see what we can kind of pull out of this, right? So we take a look at COP, and remember, we were talking about September, back in September, kind of early September, during the 20th, okay? So if we go to here, you get a 6-month chart over here, and you're looking at right around here, right around after this thing kind of really broke out through 46, 47 bucks, this is where a lot of the flow started. Okay. Now, sometimes you'll get flow that really comes in, at the lows. Sometimes you'll get flow, that comes in sort of after a breakout is decided. Remember, oil has been a really shitty sector for quite some time. If you look at a lot of oil names, they look horrible here. We're going to take a look at PXD in a second as far as the flow is concerned, but take a look at PXD here, for the last couple of months, right? This PXD has looked miserable here. XOM is another name that we're going to talk about in a second. And you can see it here. Most of the oil names here have not seen any rotation whatsoever. Now, when the flow says otherwise, and you really start to get, aggressive buyers, moving up their sort of strikes here, you can get, you're starting to paint the picture here of a bit of a rotation, okay? And what does this rotation do? This rotation holds the market up and continues to push us higher, right? Now we got money going to financials, we got money going to biotechs, we got money going to oils. Now, what is it coming out of? What is it coming out of, guys? Where is the money coming out of? Okay, anybody want to take a guess? Where's it coming out of? Anyone? And it might not really be aggressively coming out of, but there's a clear rotation out of certain sectors and back into other sectors. Anybody want to take a guess? Nobody wants to take a guess? What are you guys doing in here? All right, somebody speak here. John David is saying bonds. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'm going to start calling people out. Ann is saying tech. There you go. Okay? When you take a look at a name like an Apple, when you take a look at a name like a Netflix, when you take a look, are these performing here as well as some of these other names? No, not at all. Okay? So some of the money here is coming out of these names here and going into oils, financials, and things like that. So COP is clearly one name here. And if you notice, again, it started at around on the 18th right here when the stock was around 47 bucks. And look at it, every single day, right? Piling into these things. Most of these things were weeklies, and now you got some Octobers here being played up here at the 52 strike. Now, where is this stock trading right now? I'm sure it's pulled back. Maybe it's around 49. Actually, this thing is holding up pretty well, right? So you're going to move up here to 51 at the highs. So that's a solid chunk right there. You get 3 points out of COP, you're doubling your freaking money. You are doubling your money, all right? And the flow is a great way to just clue you into the idea. Okay. Now the execution is another part, and again, this is what we want to teach you. All right. It's not enough to just take a look at this flow and just say, all right, yeah, screw it, I'm going to take a trade. You can do that. Okay. But there's got to be a little bit more science behind it. You guys got to understand there's got to be a little bit more science behind it, and that comes down to your execution. How many of you guys have great ideas and they seem to work, but you can't execute for shit? Okay. How many of you guys are there? Can I get an amen here? Okay, that's a lot of folks here that are looking for, how to get to the next level in their trading. Okay, I see a lot of yeses coming out, and frankly, all 52 of you in here should be saying yes 100%. Okay, now what other names do we have? We got PXD. This is one of my favorites, right? This is one of my freaking favorites. Okay, we got PXD at the beginning of August here. They were starting, but this guy actually probably made out really well. So this guy bought it December 160, and this shit was, I think this thing was at 120s at one point on this PXD. Yeah. Right, so that guy came in here. He was a little bit early, Okay, this guy was a little bit early. You have to sit through some nonsense. And again, these are the swing traders that come out. And by the way, the flow clues you in to a lot of different styles and a lot of different strategies. John David is asking so many damn questions. Yes, we're going to get to EOG. Yes, we're going to get to CVX. How about you shut the hell up? All right. Now, PXD 135s, right? And look at these guys buying August for August, and then you're getting more Decembers here, okay? And then stirring around the same time that they were purchasing the COP, this is where you're going to start to get flow everywhere too. We also got flow in USO as well. All right, so you got 165 call for January going off for this is about $1 million, okay? And then literally 4 or 5 days ago, you know, this guy tacks on, okay, to a 160 strike for $2 million, right? And that's a huge rotation here for PXD. And if you notice the gap here, take a look at the gap here, right? So it's kind of into the gap right now. These guys are all betting that that gap is going to close, all right? That gap is going to close and it's going to continue, right? What else needs to happen, though, in order for PXD to go to 170? Okay, and John David, since we know you're so eager to answer, why don't you give us an answer, right? So what does oil need to do, okay, for PXD to really cover this gap and go back to highs, right? What does the sector have to do? Anybody want to take a guess? What does the sector have to do? Oil, right. The price of oil here probably needs to go higher. We probably don't need to see any of this nonsense. We want to see oil at what? $45 a barrel, $50 a barrel. We want to see it go through, right? If it can't do that, you know, how much upside are you really going to get out of this stuff, okay? Now, CVX is best of breed, okay? CVX was a name that was just doing its thing even without you know, the participation of a lot of the oil sector or whatever. So, you know, sometimes you'll see these staples inside of a sector that people just want to own, right? People just want to own, people don't want to get rid of, and this was sort of best of breed. Now, this leads me to one of the conversations that I want to have about execution, okay? And why you might need a little bit of help when it comes to actual execution, all right? And one of those was the Exxon Mobil, right? Exxon Mobil had this really disgusting sell-off. It was in the news for a lot of other things, accounting, and then a lot of other nonsense, right? And then this move right here, this comeback back to about 80 bucks, you know, this really set up the second leg or the third leg even, you know, which may or may not happen. And this is really where you can start making some aggressive trades, okay? So let's take a look at the XOM flow. Remember, this PXD was a real solid winner. Let's take a look at this XOM. So starting when the stock was under 80 bucks, okay? And you can see it. Starting when the stock was under 80 bucks, you started to get what? A lot of September buyers, okay? And this is when we started to get some October buyers, right? And not that much money, just a couple people nibbling here and there. And then once this thing started to move over 80 bucks, then people started to get excited about it, okay? And now you notice the October expirations here getting picked off. I actually played some Novembers, which I'm going to show you the trade in a second here once we talk a little bit about the course. Let's throw in a couple other names here. Let's take a look at the flow in, let's see, we had Rig. Rig was another one. So Rig is an oil driller, okay? And that was another one that really made some nice moves. If you notice, the same time that the COP went down. And again, you're going to see this on a daily basis once you join the Steamroom, right? So all of a sudden, you're going to see the flow turn towards a particular sector, and that's going to give you your idea. Once you have your idea, then how do you trade it, okay? How do you trade it, all right? Sometimes it's not as easy as just throwing a dart at an options expiration and a particular strike price, or just following what these guys are doing and going for it, okay? Now, there's a difference here. What do these folks have, the guys that are playing $100,000, the guys that are playing $300,000 or $400,000 in capital? What do these guys have that you do not have, okay? What do these guys have that you guys do not have? Well, we're getting some comments here. Steven says huge balls. You know, I don't know if you can gauge the size of a man's balls by looking at the cash that he throws in the market. However, yeah, sure, you could say they got some balls. Michael Bucher is saying time, okay? And Matt Diamond is saying money, okay? Tom is saying information. Sure, they could have some inside information. I guess you could throw that out there. All right, Ann is saying resources. Stephen come back and saying time, okay? The two things that they have, okay, that you guys don't, and it's maybe a little bit more access to information. You could call that one, but I don't think it's that, okay? It's time and money, okay? Do you think this guy right here who put $300,000 on a $15 call, okay? Let's take a look at the rig, by the way, and let's see where it's at. Do you think that guy gives a shit about time and money? You think he cares about what price he got filled at? You think this guy cares about what price he got filled at on a $500,000 order? He doesn't give a shit, okay? He doesn't care. Do you care? Do you have to care? You have to care, okay? Because you don't have time and you don't have money, all right? So now what's the problem here? Granted, this guy's making a swing trade here for the fences, right? He's going for 15 bucks or even somewhere close. He doesn't even need $15 to make any money. He's probably up on this trade right now. All right, but remember, these are guys that also have stock positions. They might have, they might have other option strategies on as well. Okay, and they're also just out here aggressively purchasing or selling contracts. And we are looking at folks that are making bets too. Remember, they're making bets too. Some of them might be delta neutral, and they might be somehow hedging risk other ways by buying other strikes, selling other strikes, or whatever. Okay, there could be so much going on behind this guy trading this particular option. And what other strategies do we have? Do we know what he's doing? I don't know if he has 1 million shares in the freaking stock. I don't know shit. We don't know shit, okay? All we are doing, though, is using this aggressive order flow to give us an idea on sentiment, on what to trade, okay? And then how does the market look overall? You got to figure out how to put this all together. It's not enough to just look at this order and say, all right, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and hop in rig. All right, there still has to be a plan to it. There still has to be an execution plan to it. Okay, and this is where most of you guys, unfortunately, hit the wall. All right, but don't worry about it. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so as you can see, again, last week here, piling in still $11 calls, $9 calls here for the September weeklies, and this thing ran up pretty nicely here on the rig, as you can see, almost to about 11 bucks. Now that the move is pretty much, I would say, spoken for, you're probably going to see some consolidation. And then the question is, do we get a second leg? Do we get a third leg? Do we get a fourth leg? And all that kind of stuff, okay? So, again, flow is here, okay? And we pipe it into the room to get you guys to understand, okay, how is it used, and how do you trade around it? And there's so many different ways to trade around it, whether you're a day trader, whether you're a scalp trader, whether you're a swing trader, whatever strategy you bring to the table, the flow can help you find where the money is and where you want to allocate some dollars to. Me, for example, I swing trade, okay? And I'm going to give you an example on a swing trade that we threw on XOM. And a lot of the guys in the chat room were in this as well. So we'll talk about XOM, but before we talk about it, okay, I want to, give you guys a link here to the new semester here for the master course. Okay, so let me drop that into your channel here so you guys can take a look. And again, I am wrapping up this month right now. So September is being wrapped up right now. So we'll get to the October, sort of November session next month. These are the things that you will learn, okay? Tape reading is one of the biggest. Tape reading is one of the biggest because, again, it is understanding buyers and sellers. It's understanding supply and demand. If you don't understand those two concepts and how they relate to buyers and sellers in the market, you're going to have a tough time trying to find the right time to buy any option. Remember, you guys are going long options. Most of you guys are going long options, which means what? You suffer time decay every single day. So if your timing is not on point, guess what? You ain't got shit out here. Okay, psychology is one thing that we do focus on as well because, again, you know, most of your decision making is influenced by the emotions that you have and also by the P&L that you look at every single second of every single day. So we'll talk about that as well. Flow trading, which is what I just discussed. You guys are going to get my whole option writing strategy, which, by the way, collected a significant amount of premium on this Goldman Sachs move up. Most of the options that are out of the money on Goldman Sachs, these things will all expire worthless. Take a look at this week's 2:30 calls. These things were trading about 50 cents to $1. They're worth nothing right now. You can even go to next week's and take a look at stuff that is way out of the money. Even a 225 call, for example. Let's see what the 225 call is trading. And these are all great strikes to write, and you're just scraping dimes and nickels here and making considerable amount of cash just writing options without having to worry about timing shit, right? So if your biggest problem is timing options and timing a breakout and breakdown, which, by the way, most of you guys, your biggest options are, fuck it. Don't even do that. Don't even do it. If you get a big move on Goldman and things are about to break out, guess what? Sell some way out of the money puts. That way, even if you're wrong, you're still going to make money, right? It's a very forgiving strategy, all right, which some of you guys need because your timing is complete shit, all right? And again, this is why you need me. All right, so that's one of the other things that you will learn, tape reading as well. And you guys can take a look at the videos and some of the testimonials. What you're going to get 12 live classes. These go for a couple hours a night. You get 4 live trading sessions. So I just did one this morning where basically we're setting up trades, we're trading things. I'm moving in and out of stuff in the mornings, so people are watching me execute as well. Those are really good. And then you'll get the guest interview series, and then you get some freebies, right? So you get an intro to options. This stuff I'll skip over too during my class, right? Because most of you guys know what a call is, right? Most of you guys know what a call is, right? You've bought a call option before, right? You've bought a put option before, so you know what the hell it is, right? You know what a chart is. You know what candlesticks are. You don't need this shit. And any of this freebie stuff, you can find it online, okay? I'm not interested in teaching you any of that. I am teaching you shit that you don't freaking know about, okay? AKA bid and ask, buyers and sellers, how they match up, to give these large moves in the markets where there's actually some edge in trading your options, okay? So with that being said, guys, check out the link, and hopefully we see you guys here for the October session. We are going to run some promos. I am not sure if we do have a promo right now. Next course session starting towards the end of October, okay? Let's go through an example, okay? So the XOM. And I was looking at it more of a swing here because the XOM, again, like, she moves pretty slow. So take a look at the XOM. I was looking at after this move, right? So I didn't catch this move at all. But once it squeezed like this showed a change in sentiment, especially the move back to 80 bucks. So once it was at 80 bucks, this is when I started taking a look at it. And the play was to use some November options, and these were November 82.5s and then November 85s as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the 82.5s here, and we'll take a look at a chart here for the 82.5s for the last couple of weeks here. Let's look at it for a month. Okay, so during this period in time, this is when I'm starting to collect. Now, any swing trader knows. All right, any for real swing trader who's been in the game long enough, knows one thing. Okay, the shakeout before the real move. All right, how many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, any option trader who trades on a swing basis, all right, and especially picking up options during a consolidation period, there's always some kind of a flush, right? There's always some kind of a flush to pull some of the weaker hands out of the trade, and then you get this sort of V-shaped recovery, and that's really when you want to start to get aggressive, okay? Now, I'll start picking this up anyway, right? I'll start picking it up slowly, just looking at the price action every single day. It's key to look at the price action of the tape every single day to justify if paying this price is okay. Otherwise, you're just going to get killed by time decay and sentiment, and, you're not really going to have anything, okay? So I started picking up this option, and then I saw this, obviously this drop. I might even let go of some here, but as soon as it comes back and the price action starts showing me like, okay, you know, that was just a little shakeout. It's time to rock again. I'll start adding it back. And this was a really, really nice move around 82, around 82 and a half, you know, as sort of a swing trade. You're doubling your money, you're tripling your money here. But it takes a while. It takes a while to find these trades. Sometimes you're going to sit in them for 5 days. Sometimes you're going to sit in them for 10 days. Sometimes you're going to sit in them for literally months, okay? You guys know how long we were waiting for Goldman Sachs? I was waiting 6 months for Goldman Sachs to move, okay? I was waiting 6 months to catch this move from 230 to 240. Now we got another opportunity to buy this for 250 and for new all-time highs. But you think she's going to make it easy? You think this thing is just going to go up another 10 points with you in it? No, 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 no. Who do you think you are, huh? There's always games to be played in the market, and if you don't understand those games or how the market works, you know, this is going to be a big issue for you. This is going to be a very, very big issue for you. All right? So, again, we were waiting a long time for the swing opportunity on Goldman Sachs, the move from sort of 230, 240. So just like XOM, you know, you're seeing the same kind of situation where we're waiting a considerable time for a change in sentiment, okay? Which other sector had this, okay? Anybody trade the biotechs? Biotechs for years just sat down here and did nothing, okay? Now finally showed you a nice tighter consolidation under 300 bucks, and now look at you, right? And it's still even difficult to trade, but where are we now on this IBB, right? We retraced the whole move down here. If you look 5 years back, I think this thing was even higher, you know, so we got nothing but upside over here, all right? Change in sentiment and change in flow, all right? If we look back to, you know, this period in time in June and July, what do you think we're going to see? We're going to see huge flow go to Gilead. We're going to, you guys want to see? Fuck it. Let's just see. All right, so let's see around June. Yeah, let's go back to June here on the Gilead, okay? Look at this, $3 million bet here for December 70s. This was back in May. This guy was a little bit early, all right? Look at this. We got August 72 and a halves, all right? And you can see the progression here. This is later on in July, 74s. Now they're buying freaking 80s. Look at this guy, right? Puts $500,000 down a couple of years out for 80. This guy's double his money, clearly, easily. All right, and then you can see it. Again, look at this guy. Dip buys here, 73, okay, and puts 400 grand down, and this guy, that's probably the same dude. This is probably the same guy. This is definitely the same guy, I would say, okay? And this guy caught a fat dip. What day was this? This was on, what day was this? 7/26, and then August 9th. Let's take a look at this Gilead. If anybody knows Gilead, Gilead is an extremely beaten down garbage biotech name that finally came back to life. So notice, after you see shit like this, you're just looking for dips here. You're just looking for dips and that rotation money to come back in. Look at this, right? So this guy comes off this dip and buys right here, right? He was a little early. But, and then he added on later, right? So he bought when? So he added on later, right? So we got the 809 and then we got what? The 726, okay? So yeah, the guy was a little bit early. So he buys right here. And then he buys right here, okay? And then look at this smoke job, all right? So again, the flow can show you where the money's going to go. The problem is, can you execute, okay? Can you freaking execute, all right? So what we do here at St. Lucci and Wall Street Jesus is this gives us the idea, all right? And then we take it to the tape, we take it to the level 2, we take it to the options level 2, and we figure out the execution. Okay? It's not good enough to just to have the idea. All right? You need the execution, and that's what you're going to find here. Go to stlucci.com/products/master course. We should probably make that link a little bit easier, and I'm sure we will. And hopefully, I see you guys for the October session. Any questions? Any questions? Throw in some questions. What do you got? What do you got? All right? Where the hell is David at? John David here. All right? Oh, I think he might have left because I wasn't answering his question. Anybody? Questions? Michael here is saying promos on the Steamroom alone. Let me check that real quick. Okay, we do have a shortened link, okay, actually. So this is a better shortened link, sanglucci.com/MC. Okay. So that is your shortened link. I'm going to send it to you all right now. Stephen is saying how much is the course, okay? So we also have a 3-day free trial for the Steamroom, okay? So this is what we did. We used to have a free lounge in here, all right? But we closed that up. Now you get a 3-day free trial, all right, for the Steamroom. So it's read-only, okay? So I don't want any of these freaking newbies here who ain't taking this shit seriously. You guys start talking all this shit, and my chat room gets all messed up, all right? So you got read-only for 3 days, okay? Read-only for 3 days. You get access to all the flow, and you get access to us and talking about how to trade and all that kind of stuff, okay? And then you guys get 50% off your first month, all right? So when you go to wallstreetjesus.com, this is where you're going to sign up for just the Steamroom, okay? So you're going to get 50% off for your first month. And again, try out the free trial. I mean, this shit, what are you going to lose, okay? What are you going to lose? Try out the free trial. You'll get access to everybody in here. I will be in here talking shit every single day. And then you'll catch the flow. You'll start to see how we kind of trade around it too. I mean, this is where you're going to get a lot of the value too. So you're going to see me talking in and out of trades pretty aggressively throughout every single session. So those 3 days are really going to clue you in to how to use this stuff and how everybody else is using this stuff too. By the way, again, it doesn't matter what strategy you do, whether it's writing options, long calls, even if you're trading equities. Actually, Wall Street Jesus doesn't even trade options. Guy doesn't even trade options. You know what he does? He takes some of this sharp order flow, he pulls it up, he looks at it, he says, okay, yeah, great, I'll take 500 shares or 1,000 shares on the equity. That's it, okay? That is what he'll throw out there. So he doesn't even mess with options. He thinks people who trade options, aka me, are crazy as fuck, okay? So again, doesn't matter what strategy you guys take, you know, it will help you find the sentiment. It will help you find the right names to trade. Again, you're still going to need the execution. This is the key. This is the key to all of it, okay? It's the key to life, all right? DJ Khaled over here. We got the keys, okay? The keys are inside the master course here. Ranchero saying, if someone wants unbiased feedback on the master course, let me know and I'll throw out my email. Anybody who here wants to talk to this man who has taken the course, you let me know. I think that's about it. Bathgate, how much is the course? How much is the course, and then are we running any promos on it? My guy here is in the chat too. Any other questions? I think we got Steven here. Right now it's $3,000. If people are interested, we can hit us up. So hit us up, email us, contact@sanglucci.com. Okay, and then as we roll out some promos here, we can let you know about it. All right, so I sent that to all of you guys. Contact@sanglucci.com if you're interested in the course. Again, you can get all the info, sanglucci.com/MC. Okay, we can also split that up into payments too for you guys. So Stephen, for you, we can split that up into payments too. So some people do 2 payments, some people do 3 payments. If you need that, we can hook you up too. All right, and then you'll be talking to my guy on the phone too. So you know you'll get some personal attention, which we know everybody loves. All right. If there are no other questions, I'll leave it up for a couple of minutes here, and let me know if you guys have any questions. But that's it. Execution, guys. It's all about execution. You ain't got that, you don't have shit. All right, guys. Looks like everybody's good. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. We're going to do another couple of webinars here with a couple different topics, so you get some other freebies here as we get into October here. All right, guys? Take care.